Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, June 23rd. This is Gina McGuire. We will continue to see very hot temperatures and record-breaking heat later this week, especially across Nevada and Utah with single-digit relative humidity, and this will rapidly dry the fuels across the region. Also, we will start to see a return of lightning over parts of the Sierra Front into the Sierra on Friday and Saturday, and this lightning will likely expand as we go into later in the weekend or early next week over parts of Nevada and into Idaho. However, still confidence is low as far as timing and overall lightning coverage. As we move into Wednesday this week, we'll likely see some thunderstorms over parts of southeast and eastern Utah. However, these should bring some moisture and fuels are not as critical in this region. Over the last 7 days, we've seen a prolonged period of dry conditions and very warm temperatures across the Great Basin. However, again, due to a wet May and early start to June, we'll continue to see the grass growth across the region, and it'll be these grasses and more of the fine fuels that we'll watch cure over the coming weeks due to the hot temperatures, which will likely be increasing fire potential. As we look at the current conditions, we have high pressure centered over the southern tier of the country, and this high pressure extends into the Great Basin. However, will be expanding north and west and be centered over the Great Basin later this week and through this weekend, which will bring very hot temperatures to up to 15 or 20 degrees above normal, with records being set widespread across the region through this weekend. Dry conditions will continue. However, again, some moisture over Arizona will creep its way up into southeast and eastern parts of Utah by the middle of this week, and then again we'll see some lightning return to parts of the Sierra. Fuels have been rapidly drying, and we're seeing this trend in the 7-day significant fire potential outlook, with fuels going from the green to yellow to brown category, and this will continue with these hot temperatures. Again, temperatures will be climbing this week, but will reach its peak later this week and this weekend with single-digit relative humidity across much of Nevada and into parts of Utah. Looking at the general pattern for Wednesday and Thursday this week, again, that moisture starts to creep up into southeast and eastern Utah, and this will bring some showers and thunderstorms to those areas. However, it will also bring some limited moisture. Temperatures will be climbing this week to the upper 90s over parts of Nevada and Utah with still single-digit relative humidity. By Thursday, dry weather returns to all areas of the Great Basin, and we'll also start seeing some very hot temperatures emerge over western and northern areas, where we'll likely see some record temperatures being set over parts of the western side of the Great Basin by Thursday and Friday. Temperatures will be increasing to over 100 degrees in the valleys by Thursday of Nevada and Utah, and also continuing with that single-digit relative humidity. Things start to change on Friday as we start to see some moisture move north up into the Sierra, and we'll likely see some lightning develop over the Sierra crest and into parts of the Sierra front. Therefore, we have indicated a higher risk after this period of very hot and dry conditions and temperatures increasing later this week. Fuels have been drying rapidly, and we'll likely see some potential for dry lightning as we move into Friday along the Sierra front. Also, as we move into Friday and the weekend, these hotter temperatures will also be expanding across much of western and northwest Nevada, where the fuels have already become critically dry. Saturday, we'll see a similar pattern with thunderstorms developing mainly along parts of the Sierra front and into the Sierra. However, again, these thunderstorms may only push slightly into far western Nevada. As we move into Sunday, Monday, we may see more of an expanse of thunderstorms as we move into Nevada and Idaho. However, still timing and overall thunderstorm coverage is uncertain. We'll also see later this weekend into next week some thunderstorms potentially developing again over southern and eastern Utah. However, these may still have some moisture with them, and fuels haven't been as critical at this point. However, that may change by next week after very hot temperatures. And again, as we move through the weekend, we'll see record high temperatures, especially across Nevada and into parts of Utah, and this will continue on Monday. We also, again, by early next week, may start to see that return of thunderstorms over a larger part of the Great Basin. However, this will continue to be monitored, and still confidence is relatively low. Now we look at fuel conditions across the Great Basin. These maps don't paint a great overall picture, but it does show at least the trend of ERCs have been increasing across the Great Basin, which would be expected with these hot and dry conditions. However, looking at the ERC charts, especially for Nevada and Utah, the more important note is seeing the spike in ERCs due to these hot temperatures, and already areas over parts of Nevada are approaching or exceeding the 80th percentile, which is a significant change from what we saw last week, and these ERCs will continue to rapidly increase. If we look at live fuel moisture, we have been seeing fuel moisture in the sagebrush near or just above normal. However, this will likely be changing and has changed over the last week. However, the main concern, again, is still the larger fuels in the higher elevations, as even prior to the extended dry period we've been seeing, fuel moistures were well below normal. Now looking a little further out at the 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us from the very end of June into the first week of July. We'll continue to see these above normal temperatures. However, moisture may start increasing as we move towards the middle to late portion of next week across the Great Basin. Therefore, we may start seeing above normal precipitation, at least over the eastern half of the Great Basin, with western areas seeing lower confidence as far as the amount of moisture that we'll see. That concludes the briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us or follow us on Twitter. Thank you for listening.